Okay, welcome to December 2012. I've been back in Europe now for a couple of months, which is why I'm a little bit white and pasty probably. But I've got a bit of time now, so we're going to have a little bit of a look around, see what's changed, and maybe have a little bit of a recap of a few things that occurred earlier in the year, which I didn't get a chance to put online. So here we go. So this is one of the biggest projects that we've done here. We've put in a borehole. This is a big 5-inch riser pipe, it goes down about 130 metres. And this now gives us more than enough water right through the year. The people we bought the farm off, I think they struggled a little bit in the winter during the dry months. As a result, they were never really able to run at full production. We're being held back a little bit at the minute because we've only got a single phase pump and breaker, but probably in the next 6 to 12 months we'll be able to put in a 3-phase unit. We'll probably need to get some cables run ourselves, probably about 1 kilometre from the supply line, but it's something we're going to have to do if we want to be productive here. And from here we manifold off. We can run down or across quite easily, but also we can run up the hill, and about another 50-60 metres high we've got a top storage area, and that area can feed pretty much the whole of the farm and the house. So from the borehole the water gets pumped up. This is about the highest point on the farm, up on this top road. Each one of these tanks holds probably about a ton and a half of water each. And then from here it gets distributed pretty much around the whole of the rest of the farm, just using gravity to run it down the hill. So it just goes through that blue pipe there, and from here it can run pretty much right the way around. It can be moved down into the palms, down on the bottom there, over towards the mangoes, pineapple on this side, bananas, and down as far as the asparagus down at the front just by the road. So this is a new area up on Chablis. We've just cleared this out in the last month with the digger, put a road in on either side, and the idea is we're going to develop a little bit of a resort style area here, maybe with a restaurant and a couple of bungalows. We've put in these rock dams. We're going to try and hold some water, run a river down through the area. Now that we've got the borehole, we've got as much water as we need. And it'll make it a nice feature and hopefully attract a little bit more wildlife in as well. Up on the far side, it looks like someone's had a go at clearing this land before, because there's really no trees left there at all. It's just short grass once it's cut down. So someone's probably had a plan to plant tapioca or something like that, but struggled because it's a little bit dry. As I say, now that we have the borehole, we've got as much water as we ever need here. This is going to be a bit of a work in, or a bit of a project in progress for the next 12 months, I would have thought, but I think it's going to be pretty nice once it's done. So we made a couple of areas like this that we want to develop into ponds. We're probably going to have to line them with a bit of concrete, some polythene to hold the water because the ground is quite porous. Then we use the rock pile at the far end to hold the water back. And we should then be able to throttle water as it runs down the hill down to the next level, and we'll have 5 or 6 different steps, different water levels as it runs down, so it should look pretty nice actually. So here we have a couple of cows that help to get the grass down to certain areas. Obviously I put a little bit of fertiliser back into the soil as well. That one down there is called spare rib, this one's called sirloin. This one over here is called fillet, but they seem pretty happy, and they say ignorance is bliss. These rows are tapioca plants. They're put in between the mangoes, and these are for the workers really. We give them a little bit of land so they can do their own projects on. Not too much of course, but it gives them a nice little lump sum of cash every year. They get to work this in the evenings or on their day off. And it gives them just a little bit of incentive to, take care of the land, to make sure that the irrigation, the pumps are run and everything's kept nice. And obviously it provides a bit of loyalty because they get paid, or this gets harvested once a year, so they've got to stay long enough to at least to reap the benefit of it. These pineapples on Chablis probably got put in about a year or so ago. These are from shoots we took off Little Oxford, so they were free. They're looking really super healthy. We don't have hundreds of thousands of them, but we certainly have a few truckloads. So we'd probably have to do a direct sale to make much money out of these. Probably eat a few ourselves. But they're probably ready for gassing up before too long. and then it'll be a couple of months away from a pineapple harvest. Down here we have an interesting little project under the net. This is a young durian tree. So durian's kind of the delicacy of Southeast Asia, this rather sickly sweet fruit. But we've planted, I don't know, several thousand of these trees over the farm, and they are good money producers, but they take a little bit of time, so it's going to be a few years, probably 7 or 8 years before we start to see any product. But it's a very, very good return once you get it, and they're fairly low maintenance. But for the minute, all they need is a little bit of sun protection, some water and some fertiliser. So fingers crossed we can provide all that for them. This is a little field of corn we've got. We're growing this primarily to feed the animals. They can have this, there's not so much grass around when it gets a bit drier. Heading into the dry season now. Ducks can eat it, and obviously people can eat the odd bit here and there as well. Then in this area as well, we've got some pumpkins growing. Pumpkins take about 58 days from the seed being planted to when you harvest them. And they're pretty good, they grow with pretty much zero input. This is quite an interesting little project. One of the big crops in the area is asparagus, and we've planted a couple of rye for ourselves. Plants are quite pretty, very fine leaves on them. The asparagus stalks, when they come as little nodules. They just grow up off the root parallel to the stalk. These we probably started, I don't know, probably about 7 months ago. They start in a seeding pen for the first couple of months, and now they're transplanted into the big field. And they're probably another, I don't know, maybe 2 months away from us actually starting to get a crop. But once you do, it's almost money every day. And to say the price for asparagus is normally pretty good, so even a small area can sort of get you, I don't know, £200 or £300 a day without too much trouble at all. Well, the palms on Chablis are starting to look really, really good now. They've had plenty of rain, plenty of water over the summer. Now we've got the bore up and running, they've all got online irrigation. They've had plenty of fertiliser as well to help them along. So hopefully another sort of, I don't know, 18 or 24 months and we'll be starting to see some production off these. It'll be very good news. So this area we use as a little garden plot for the farm, so this is for us and the workers as well. Got a bit of a mix in here at the minute. Here we've got some papaya trees. These will grow up, probably about 9 to 12 feet in height, give us papayas. Down here we've got chilli bushes. See the little chilies here, they're of pretty varying spiciness, so I need to be a little bit careful before I go picking them, too many of them. Then as I come around, these are actually the aubergine bushes. I mean, they've got these little round aubergines on them like this. These are a key component of a lot of the Thai dishes, like Thai curries for example. I'd use plenty of these fellows. Okay, this papaya tree is a little bit bigger, probably about 7 or 8 feet tall. Still a little bit young, these fruit probably won't really mature properly. You might get the odd one that does, but you can see how they hang there. So the Thais think they're sort of almost like waste food, but I absolutely love them. Over here we've got little Chinese gooseberry plant, or sorry, Thai gooseberry plant. The fruit sits inside these little capsules, a little bit like this one here. Just pop the leaves open. I think these are a little bit young to eat yet, but probably a month or so, and they'll be ready to go. You get very, very nice sort of natural taste, quite zesty, really, really good. So this is the central water tank that we were building a little while ago. It's now become a bit of a catfish pond as well. Probably why the colour's a little bit green, a little bit funny. But it means the workers have free fish there. All they've got to do is come and scoop them out for dinner. And by putting the catfish leftovers in the water, then that helps with fertiliser as well when this gets pumped round. I don't particularly like to go swimming in there at the minute, but the boys don't really seem to mind, especially if there's dinner involved. Okay, that's dinner for the boys. They got 3 or 4 pretty good sized ones in there. Should keep them going for another day. So with the catfish, what you normally do is you find a supplier who sells you the baby fry. Then you take them away, you fatten them up. Then about 3 or 4 months later, you can call him up and he'll come back and buy the fish back off you and gives you a price per kilo difference. And the best way to feed them up is actually to put a light at night above the pond, above the tank. and then all the mosquitoes and the flies and the insects come around and they just drop in the water, and the catfish sitting there and have a bit of a feeding frenzy every day. It's pretty clever system actually. It works pretty well. So we try to make our money back and give the workers a bit of free dinner as well, which stops them going off killing the wildlife, which is a win-win situation for everybody. So it's been a pretty good long day. We've had a good look around, but I'm here for another couple of weeks. So I'll try and get another video up before I go back, maybe one over Christmas and New Year. And then we might do a little trip up to Chiang Mai in January. So see you soon. Bye-bye.